the subject, so you want to skate. And the person I thought about talking to for this was my friend Laura, or Chum Fiesta, who I have known now for almost a decade because of roller derby. And I thought about talking to her because when I first kind of brainstormed the idea of this entire video series, she was like, you really should get to the bottom of why people want to skate. Is it because they want to play roller derby? Do they just want to skate? Let's talk about that. I thought that was smart, so here's where I'm starting.
Hi, I'm Laura, Chum Fiesta, and I have skated for about all my life. I think I first started skating when I was like 12 or 13. So I've skated with the team in Duluth, Minnesota for roller derby, and then I've skated with KCRW, and then but I think ramp skating was always like my favorite thing to do. Like I found I don't know. It was like my friend and I found out that the YMCA, and like I'm from Chicago, so we found out. I think it was in God, I don't remember. It was like right by my mom's work, so she would drop us off
Nice.
at like 3, and like that was basically like daycare for like teenagers. But it really tests you. It like shows you like exactly who you are,
Yeah.
and then like when you get over when you actually are able to do like a trick or like do a turn or whatever you're working on, and when you actually get it, it's so like monumental because it's measurable, it's not subjective. You're like, no, I was here on the ramp and now I'm up here on the ramp and
Yeah.
I didn't die. So it's like so it's like it's huge. I don't think I ever quad skated on ramps, like properly skated on them. And something that I know, like, so in your neural pathways or your
Yeah.
muscle memory, because I had inlines, K2 being air. Speaking of placement, product placement, you can just cut in a little picture of it right here. So they're like bright yellow and awful looking, and I love them. But you cut so differently on like happen to have my skates right here. So
Yes.
it's like half the size of the wheel. Like, and these are like narrower wheels because you have like those. Remember those like wide wheels,
Yeah.
and then they kind of like was it 59 millimeter? I think, or are they like 62 millimeters or something? The old ones.
I remember I was skating down in Springfield one time during a speed skate practice. And I was like, why are these speed skaters, like the guys in the inline, why are they so much faster than me?
Yeah,
Finally, somebody was like, oh, the diameter of the wheels on inlines are so much greater than what you skate on with your quads. And they're like, of course
yeah,
they're faster. And I was like, oh, because I was like trying to keep up. Yeah. And I had no idea. I was like, oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So they could just have, a much longer stride than we ever could
oh
on
yeah,
quads. Yeah.
yeah. And even like look at the surface area
Yeah.
on this. You know what I mean? It's like it's
Versus
huge.
like this little itty bitty. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a suburban meets like a motorcycle, you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like turning on a quad skate. So
Yeah.
that's that's definitely kind of weird, but I don't know.
Okay, what do you want to do on your skates? Do you want to play
Right.
roller derby? And with us coming from that roller derby culture, I thought we could talk a little bit about that. Like, we loved roller derby, and then it was like, oh my gosh, we need to get out of it.
Yes. There's definitely that like some things in life it's like a whisper of like maybe I should change my direction. And then sometimes it's like, bitch, you gotta go. You
Yeah.
gotta go.
What are some of the things that you think that people should be thinking about, derby wise versus like ramp skating versus, just like trail skating? Uh,
Yeah.
what should they be thinking about?
I think that especially like when I started, I had basically stopped touring and just didn't really have anything going on, And I played hockey when I was a kid, and we always played roller hockey in the or shoe hockey in the alley and everything. But like, so I missed that. Like coming from like more of an athletic background, like I didn't play at like school. Yeah, like I think that I missed having like camaraderie and
Yep.
sorry, the how else would I say this? I personally have like a bloodlust problem, like where
Yep.
I like to murder people legally. So I'm like, I think I just like I think I need that, you know. And plus it's hard, you know. Like so if you want something where, you know, it's hard to build relationships.
Yeah.
It's hard to like go easy on yourself when you suck at something and you know, I mean, I walked into the rink knowing how to skate already, but then
Right.
you see these like people that come in and they're like, you know, baby deer on ice, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh honey, you know, it's
Yeah.
hard. But
Yeah.
I think that yeah, I think I just wanted to like work at something and
Yeah.
like be challenged because then you have all the like you know the rules and everything which have changed immensely, thank God. But real starts. But yeah, I guess that. What about you? Like, what do you? Why did? I mean, in your memoir, like you mentioned why,
Yeah.
which will be out soon, everybody.
We'll
Um,
see. Yeah. um, I
eventually.
Yeah, well, for me, because like you and I both started so early. Well, I mean, I think we came in around the same time, and we definitely transferred at the same time to KCRW.
Hmm.
But I had wanted to be playing forever, and I was living in places where there was no roller derby. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of it was cultural, but same thing, like very competitive. I was like, oh my gosh, I was obsessed with being a jammer. I write about that a lot because I was like, I don't even understand what the star is, but I just want to go fast.
I want to wear it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to wear that star and I want to go really fast. And I didn't know what it
Yeah.
meant, and then come to find out if you're a jammer, like everybody wants to murder you. But then, I think part of it too, because it's such a like a grassroots thing, it gives you an opportunity to really be a part of something too. And so,
Yes. Yeah.
yeah, knowing that like we're all making it happen. So we're all, we're the volunteers who are doing the marketing, the merch, the business side of things. We're all
Yeah.
making it function as a company or a business. Yeah.
What you're talking about with like grassroots, something that I thought of when you said that, like Cornerstone, and even just like you know the punk rock scene and everything that we're both like into, it
Yeah.
kind of like flows into that. You know, it's like the punk rock, punk rock sport. You know,
Yeah.
so it's a
I
lot
mean,
of people find inclusion.
yeah. Yeah, that was definitely what drew me into. But I also think it's fun because I think some of the ramp skating is that way too. There's a bit of a subversive
Yeah,
culture there. I think, I mean, even like I can't even tell you when I'm out like on the trails. I get the little head nods from people, or like people will stop and be like, "That's so awesome" and stuff, and I'm just like, "Yeah, I know,
I
right? I
know.
know, yeah, duh." Um,
Duh.
I mean, it's expensive. Like derby,
Oh,
well, skating can be very expensive. And so, derby in general, when you're talking about having to like pay dues every month, and you have to have some form of insurance and you have to pay for like WIFTA insurance and like there's all these things. And like, how many times did you have to? I remember one time I bought brand new wrist guards and
mhm.
and destroyed them that night, like the night I wore them for the first time. So like then you have to go around and buy new wrist guard, and I'm sure like you can get that way with outdoor skating or ramp skating too.
Your,
But
yeah, your pads will stay a lot longer depending on what you're doing.
yeah,
They're, you know,
yeah,
gear change is totally different, and but yeah, that's
yeah. So yeah, so to me it kind of feels like there's a little bit of like a socioeconomic um um barrier to some people. And
yeah,
so, the people who are talking about like, well, I think I might want to play derby, but maybe I should just go get skates and I need to find something that's going to work for, roller derby and outdoor skating and all of these things. It's like, I went and bought a pair of $100 skates that I wore for, um, I'm trying to even think, 3 years, 3 seasons.
Tons.
Um, but then you might want to upgrade for Derby if that's the route you want to go. So I think that people should be thinking about like what do they want in the long run, and like, are you willing to make it a long-term investment, or do you just want to kind of like fart around and be like, cool, like it's fun to go roller skating down the street and have people go, hey, yeah, that's cool, you know?
Right. You want to say duh to people when they say cool. Like,
Yeah, like, yeah,
so,
I'm totally cool.
yeah. I don't know what I have on my arm, but I just started bleeding. And as we're talking, I like picked up my elbow pad just out of habit and just started like sopping blood. I'm like, there's so much bacteria on this. Cause in true Derby fashion, I forgot to air out my pads when I went to the park yesterday.
Yep.
I've rage cried on the way home more often than I really want to admit to because I'm
Yeah.
so fucking frustrated, and so I think just with any family or relationship, it's like you need to have communication. Like going into Derby, you have to be able to communicate.
Yeah.
Like not just like inside, outside, right here, you know, racing. But it's like,
Um,
I'm pissed that that happened. I don't understand why this. You have to be able to like use your words
yeah.
because if you are not like emotionally or like emotionally ready for like the shit show that will be 100 people with an opinion like
Yep.
so definitely you need thick skin and an iron spine at some point, but that doesn't mean you need a hard heart.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Derby's hard. Derby's fucking hard. Like the sport is hard. It's hard on your body. It's hard on you emotionally, mentally, like because it's not just like you skate really fast in a circle.
Yeah.
Like you have to play the game. You have to be aware. You have to communicate, and you can't be butthurt and like all the things. And then you have the rest of your life outside of the rink and or the track. And so, yeah, it's definitely a whirlwind, but
Um,
it takes strong people to do it,
yeah.
and that's something that I don't think that people give themselves enough credit for by even like getting out of your car in the parking lot. Like
Yeah.
there's somebody I heard like on my last season, which was like 3 years ago, but like or 2 years ago, and so
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I just quit. And I'm like, I've been gone for a while, but like
Yeah.
was that like I've gone to practice 6 times, and this is the first time I got out of my car. And I was like, "Oh, honey, like, come call me. I will come get you."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. But again, I think, if you're gonna decide like, I want to play Derby, that's one thing. But if you're just like, I want to skate and, feel the wind blowing through my hair,
yeah,
I think,
under a helmet.
yeah, yes. It's important to kind of know what you're expecting from it, what you're hoping to get out of it, and then you can kind
Yeah.
of make
What
your
is your end goal?
decision.
And
Yeah.
you can always add on to it. Like I definitely would always suggest people like just buy a pair of skates. Like how many people skate there in their house or like in the
Yeah.
garage or like
Yeah.
around like I'm just excited to go skate around the neighborhood,
Yeah.
and so you don't need necessarily like to go join Derby right out the gate. It's like, or any gate. You can stay in your gate. You can
Yeah.
stay in your yard. So um, I think ramp skating is something that um, is like along the same lines as Derby, like we
Yeah.
talked about, where it's like you still need like you know a big vagina or balls or whatever, you know,